It's 365, and we will rock some football insight for you for the next 2 hours right here on the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. I'm Jody McDonald. That makes him John McMullen, since it's a Mac and Mac Birds 365 every day. Johnny Mac, the leaking has begun. NFL.
I got to manufacture energy, Jody. I'm excited. Schedule. Logistics. Let's go.
Well, be thankful you're not going to Europe this year, right? Because that is the first of the leaks, other than Mama Kelsey, and we'll get to her in a second. The NFL let everyone know that they were going to run down their list of international games, 5 this year, 3 in England, 2 in Germany. The Chiefs will be playing in one of them. The Eagles will be playing in none of them. Which means John McMullen doesn't have to worry about. I guess it would be considered a 1 o'clock game over there. The 9:30 games count even better for you if you're Mr. Give me Sunday at 1.
I don't mind the early morning games. Yeah, that doesn't bother me. I'm up freaking at 5 o'clock anyway, so it doesn't bother me.
Okay, so you just don't like it when the sun's down.
Exactly.
Early morning's perfectly fine with John McMullen. Eagles not a international game, which means they may very well be an international game next week, because the NFL wants next year. Excuse me, they want to put their best foot forward, and the Eagles are one of their best feet with the team that they have right now, and going forward, Jalen Hurts is a marquee quarterback and a star. So. Yeah. 1 year from now, you and I might be talking about you having to get your passport stamped to go over.
Yeah, I got to get it updated. Yeah. I mean, it's once every 8 years mandatory. I know everything runs together. The last time they were in London, it was against Jacksonville.
I was going to say, then there's the Jacksonville Jaguars, who go every year because the NFL asks, and they say, yeah, better than playing in front of a half-full stadium down here in Jacksonville. So, yeah, we'll take the check to go.
Maybe that changed, just Jacksonville's getting good with Trevor Lawrence, so maybe that changes. But I think it's more to do with the stadium. It was Ben Fisher, who's sort of he's a business reporter. So, one of those sports business places, and he had mentioned Buffalo and Tennessee have games over there, and it's interesting. They're both in the midst of getting new stadiums and getting deals, and teams getting new stadiums or working towards new stadiums tend to be more willing to give up games than when the new stadiums are in place. Then they don't want to give them up at all.
Of course.
So that was an interesting thought that I hadn't mulled over. So I give him credit for that. And that turned out to be true. But yeah, no updating the passport. That's, maybe some people want a nice vacation over there. But I think it only helps the team. I think those games are a pain in the you-know-what for the teams, to be honest. So
I was going to say,
I wouldn't be upset if I'm an Eagles fan.
I was going to say, how do they help the teams? Maybe I misheard you. Do you think actually playing over in Europe is a good thing? I think it's kind of just a bad thing. Over. Yeah.
I said they're more willing to give up games, because remember, you're giving up a game now if you're the road team, but when you give up a home game, that's significant revenue from the standpoint of there's not a lot of these things. And once the teams that are in the midst of getting new stadiums, they don't have them yet. When there's a financial windfall, they're a little bit more willing to deal with it than the teams that got the brand new palaces. They don't want to give up a game, especially when they're just open. That was his only point.
Gotcha. All right. So we know the Eagles aren't going to London, but apparently, or Germany, they're going to Kansas City week 2. Mama Kelsey, the mother of both Travis and our boy Jason here in town, I guess on Facebook, someone gave her information as to when the Chiefs, and we knew ahead of time Chiefs were going to be one of the teams playing in Germany this year, but she leaked out when the Chiefs were going abroad. And oh, by the way, Week 2 will be when my two sons are facing off again, and I got to break out my green/red jersey with Kelsey on the front and Kelsey on the back. So we had been speculating, pretty healthy speculation at that the Chiefs and the Eagles could very well be that opening Thursday night game. If Mama Kelsey's info is good, it's not going to be week 1. It's going to be week 2, which Johnny Mac means advantage Chiefs. And I know it's a minimal advantage. I'm not making this out as something the Eagles need to go slamming Roger Goodell's door about. Why would you do it? Why would you screw us like this? But week 1, the Chiefs will come into the rematch with 3 extra days rest over the Eagles. Now, it's after the preseason, and there's that built-in week between the end of the preseason and the start of the NFL, so I don't think the Eagles' tongues will be wagging when they get to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs, but you take every little piece of advantage you can get, right?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, that's the thing about the NFL schedule. People are going to pick it apart and up and down, left and right, to look under rocks and try to find these things. And then the games are going to show up, and it's going to just be who's the best team on that particular day. But yeah, I mean, if you have a couple extra days, I thought it was weird that, why week 2 for a game like that? If you're not going to go
Exactly.
If you're not going to go the opener, I mean, save it for a more meaningful spots. But I mean, we'll see if it's right. Number one, I mean, there's no guarantee. They could be finagling it, changing it to the last minute. Who knows? But yeah, I when I saw that, but mine was week 2. That was my first thought. I thought, well, that's kind of a high profile game to throw in week 2. I don't know, but that was my first thought.
Didn't make sense to me. And even if the Chiefs weren't playing the Thursday night game, which again, until they officially announce, it's not officially announced. There was one year, John, help me out here if you remember. Wasn't there one year that the defending Super Bowl champion didn't play in the Sunday night game? Didn't play in the Thursday night game on NBC. I'm thinking Sunday night because I'm thinking NBC.
Possibly. I mean, that stuff, that's sort of like to the ether with Ruben with me. I mean, I forget it as soon as it happens. Yes. It wouldn't surprise me. It's interesting though, because if it's going to be the Chiefs, right? Well, they leaked out one other game this morning, and that's Chiefs Bengals.
Yeah, we're gonna have 3/17 of the Chiefs schedule before they leak it out in mass tomorrow night. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're the Super Bowl champions. People want to know what the hell you're doing.
That's the AFC Champions rematch, and that's off the table, right? So you have the Super Bowl rematch is off the table in theory. Officially, the AFC Championship rematch is off the table. Tyreek Hill coming back to Kansas City is off the table because that's
an international game.
An international game. Maybe the Chiefs, I don't know. Maybe the Chiefs aren't going to be on Thursday night. I don't know. Is there another one I'm missing from the Chiefs standpoint that would be worthy? I mean, you got the Super Bowl champs, the Super Bowl rematch. You got the AFC Championship rematch. They're out the window. If we're to believe Donna Kelsey, confirmed Cincinnati's out the window. I don't know.
Raiders, because it's a long-standing rivalry. That doesn't have the cachet of the other ones that you're running down as possibilities. I would think you'd go more high profile. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And if, again, Mama Kelsey's got the right info, I'm surprised. I really thought, and we had fun with it. I asked Jeff Curran. I asked a couple guests last week. I asked it on my WIP show on Monday night. Eagle fans, who would you like to see the Eagles open up against? And the Arizona Cardinals and Jonathan Gannon won even over the Kansas City Chiefs, which would certainly be a bigger marquee game. But maybe I think along the same line Eagle fans do. I want to do what's best for the eventual ending record of the season. I'm not going to sweat the national spotlight or having it the Eagles name on the lips of fans. Of course, I shouldn't care. Most importantly is how you going to get to the end of this regular season. What's the easiest way? What's the best way to get there? And yeah, I thought taking a layup against the Cardinals week number 1 would be the best way to get there. I maybe that's the game that the Eagles are going to get now, because I really did believe, even though I said I would prefer them to play the Cardinals, I thought it was going to be Chiefs. I thought it just made too much sense. You don't get too many chances of the Super Bowl rematch because they're interleague games and it doesn't always match up. You can't control it because the schedule's already in place. It kind of fell into the NFL's laps to be able to do it week number 1 this year, and apparently they've taken a pass on it.
Yeah, I was just looking at the Chiefs' opponents. I mean, so, Miami's out, Philadelphia in theory is out, Cincinnati's officially out, Miami's officially out as well. Buffalo is
They
on their
play
schedule
Buffalo
again. Yeah, I mean, are we going to go down that route again? Maybe.
Allen against Mahomes, not a bad matchup anyway. You slice it, even if we've already seen a couple iterations of it. That could very well be the opening game again this year. So we'll have to see. The Eagles is supposed to be announced. And again, there'll be more leaking today on some of the NFL TV properties, CBS's morning show, NBC's morning show, Fox's morning show. But there'll be specialized games that are going to come out. And the Eagles should be in that conversation with any other team in the National Football League.
They've been dodging some bullets. I think Black Friday's looking more and more likely. Eagles. I'm gonna lock down Black Friday, almost guarantee.
And how is, I don't know if you know the answer to this. I don't. How is Amazon going to announce that? Because everything I've seen reported says that Amazon will announce when the Black Friday game is going to be, who's going to be playing in it. Well, we know when it's going to be Black Friday. Joe, pay attention. So we know when the game's going to be. What did you say? It was going to be late afternoon, right?
I think it's late afternoon, but don't hold me to that. I think they're going to deliver a package to everybody's home.
Oh, okay. You're not joking with me, because there's Amazon package on my front stoop basically every day.
Well, maybe there'll be an advertisement.
There's guaranteed to be a package every single. We're within a month of Christmas. Of course, there's going to be a package on a McDonald's.
Maybe there'll be an advertisement to the next say, Black Friday game, Eagles Giants. There you go.
Don't know if that's going to be the case, but supposedly Amazon is going to announce it. And yes, we think there's a very good chance the Eagles are that one. You had said, I think you tweeted, and then you said it here on Birds 365, either yesterday or the day before, Eagles, the maximum number of primetime games you can play is 6. Mm-hmm. Correct?
Correct.
Would they consider Black Friday a primetime game? Not they're playing prime time. It's supposed to be designated by the time that it's played. It's a standalone game. Is that considered prime time?
I don't know 100%, but I don't think so. They might, they change the rules all the time. I mean, one of the things is, for years you would know, all right, NFC, Fox, AFC, CBS, whatever. That's out the window. Everything's out the window because the networks want them out the window. So maybe because it is, that's a good point. I'll ask Brian McCarthy that today. Is that considered a primetime game because it's standalone? Maybe they'll change the phrasing to standalone games. Right. I don't know. But you know what else? I don't know if they could do that, Jody, because, excuse me, there's 3 Monday night doubleheaders this year.
3.
And I think those are going to be the staggered starts, which I think are dumb. So they're technically not standalone games. I think primetime means primetime. And ultimately the Eagles will see plenty of primetime. Another rule change Thursday night. It used to be every team had to take their turn. No more, because they don't want the crappy teams on Thursday night. So If you're a good team, you're probably going to get 2 Thursday nights. A lot of changes.
That hasn't been made official yet, but I remember Jeff Flory just basically dropping that one when they had the owners' meetings earlier this year, because they floated the being able to control Thursday night games out there in the owners' meetings, that they would give them some flex possibilities late in the season. And there's a segment of the owners that weren't having any of that, so they felt they needed to throw Amazon some kind of a bone. So it looks like it's going to be, good teams could be asked to play twice, and the really bad teams, Jonathan Gannon.
Oh, the rule is official, Jody. You can not, no guarantee, but teams can play two
Right.
times on. So obviously we don't know which teams that will be yet, but that part of it is locked down. That's the limit now. So some teams are not going to play on Thursday night, and we'll see. I mean, from the obvious standpoint, the bad teams, they don't want the bad teams, but we'll see how it shakes out.
And they'll say something about your team before the year starts. Here in Philadelphia, I don't think Eagle fans have to worry about that. You more need to worry about you'll be selected as one of the teams that will play twice than not playing at all. But yeah, when you get that schedule, if you go down it and you got no Thursday night games, you can realize, oh, shoot, this is what they think of our team coming into the season. They didn't even want to squeeze this into Thursday nights. All right, we will squeeze Mike Gill into Birds 365, our usual Wednesday hang with Mike Gill from 97.3 ESPN Radio, the Sports Bash down the shore. Mr.